Hello, Facebook world. Welcome to tonight's impromptu Q&A session. Just going to make sure you can hear me and see me okay. If you're on right now, just comment below and let me know that you're on. Just let me know that you can hear me and see me. That would be brilliant. Cool. Jane, hello. Morning, Susan. Cool. Welcome. Let's see here. Who else have we got? Chris. Hello. Cool, guys. Good to see you here. I wasn't sure if it was working, so this is cool. Facebook's got a new format. So if you're just joining us, comment hello, say hi in the comment section. I wanted to do this live tonight just to kind of, just to answer any questions and just to kind of help you wherever you're at. I know at the moment it's pretty weird times, so I thought, this is probably the best way in order to kind of serve you and help you as well. I'm also going to stream on Instagram as well, just to make sure other people can follow along. So, hey, Tracy, Clark, cool guys. Where are you all from? Everyone who's joining. Hey, Liz, let me know where you guys are from. We'll get into a Q&A kind of session in a moment. Cool. Hey guys, Toby Morrison here. Just wanted to go live on our social media pages to answer any questions that you might have, to give you some help and add some value in your life. As I said before, this is a bit of a weird time, and I thought, the best way to help is to jump on and give some time and answer some questions. So let us know where you're from. We've got Kimberly, Bronjoy, Amber Louise, Liz from UK, Liz Perry from Brisbane, hey Kim, White from Dorset, Chris is from UK, Jane from Brisbane, Beck from Melbourne, cool. Awesome. Before we get into any Q&A, if you've got a question, you can obviously ask it. But we have a group mentorship program, which is a 6-month minimum program for, the high achievers, the overdoers, the people that kind of need reminders and help and accountability to make sure that they get out of their own way and do the right things. And we did a session last night, and it was really, really special. It was really cool around kind of stopping the overwhelm and really not overcomplicating things. One of our lovely members, she was overcomplicating things, stressing herself out, trying to do a million things. And it was like, no, just stick to the basics. And and that was really, it was a small twist, but a really big twist, because it meant that she could basically let go of all the shit that wasn't serving her, and she could move forwards. Another client has been feeling pretty unmotivated the last week, and I think a lot of people have been, including myself, just not feeling that motivated. She's had a cold and a flu, and she's kind of been struggling, and so her question is, how do I stay motivated when I don't feel like it? And I said, well, first of all, stop forcing yourself to feel motivated. And, when I kind of gave herself that permission to stop trying to be motivated, it's like a weight came off her shoulders, and then she said, she's like, wow, I've been trying to motivate myself for 3 years. Like, I've been pushing myself to be motivated this whole time. And I'm like, wow, how exhausting would that be, making yourself motivated all the time, even when you don't feel like you want to be? So I said, there's nothing wrong with not feeling motivated. And in fact, sometimes it's good not to be motivated in order for us to be motivated. Okay? So super, super important. We've got some comments here. Simone Fox says, good to talk about something else. Hey, Simone. We've got Venontes Cannon. Hello, where are you from? And Katie Willis, she says, to give you all some hope, I recovered after 5 years of chronic fatigue. Don't give up. That's awesome. Awesome. Cool. Now, if anyone wants to ask a question, let me know. All you need to do is comment in the box below, and we can kind of get into it. I'm not sure if there's a button here where you can request to talk or ask a question. So if there is for you, feel free to press that button, and I'll try and get you on live so we can ask you in person rather than me just reading out your comment. Hopefully there's a button there somewhere where you can comment or ask to go live. Can you request? Let's see. Let's see. Don't know if I can. Cool. Okay. So we've got a question here from Mel Bendel. Mel asks, what was your healing regime? Well, my healing regime is basically everything that I teach in our online recovery program. And to give you, the problem is, like, it would take me 25 hours to tell you exactly what I did. Like, there's a minimum of 25 hours worth of coaching videos in our program, step by step. So, it's not that easy to explain it in a short answer. But to give you a short answer, I stopped looking for the magic bullet. I stopped looking for people to fix me. I turned inwards. I started to focus on what I could do and what I could do for myself and help myself. And basically, I had a holistic approach on many levels that helped me heal and progress from chronic fatigue syndrome. So, my suggestion for you is look deeper within yourself and go, where am I stuck? What's going on for me? And then seek support and help and guidance around those areas to help you move forwards and keep progressing, or get unstuck from where you're at. People either come to us to continue improving from where they're at, or because they're stuck and they don't know what to do. Okay, and they're the two kind of things that we help people with. And everyone's different, like, there's not one right thing for everybody. It's making sure that you figure out what's appropriate for you. Mindy says, yes, best thing you've ever said. You've said, yeah. So, there's not one right thing. I had someone on my YouTube channel the other week literally saying, can you tell us exactly the diet and what exercises we should do and where's the breathing exercises? And it's like, if you go on my YouTube channel, there's like 400 videos and they're all free, and there's hours and hours and hours of me talking on there and trying to help as much as possible. But I simply can't spend 25 plus hours teaching you the specifics, especially when I don't know anything about you or what you need help with. And the whole point of our recovery program is to help you specifically with where you're at and where you want to go, and everyone is different. So I can talk more later about that if you want to learn more about our program and the specifics of that. It's changed a lot in the last 6 months, like a huge amount. And it's really the best it's ever been. And there's only a handful of people who are lucky enough to be in the initial new mentorship group program with some amazing people. And they're just getting so many phenomenal wins. Like people who couldn't do much at all and are now working part-time. People running again, people hiking again, people going on dates again, moving forwards with their lives, setting goals, doing new things. It's really mind-blowing. And sometimes the wins aren't necessarily progress. Sometimes the wins are not going backwards. And that's another good point to make. One of our members, her win this week was she didn't freak out that she was sick with a cold and flu, and she just chilled out and relaxed and was calm. And that's a big win for her, because normally she'd be doing the opposite. Does that make sense, guys? Just hit the like button if that makes sense. Here we've got Dan Gibbs, hey, Erico, Vicstar, Sheridan, functional nutritionist. Hello, thumbs up. So, I've got so many comments here as well. So, we've got all the questions coming in. So, Mel, I hope that answered your question briefly, but if you want to dive deeper into that, I can, you can send us an email and we'll send you a full info pack on how we really help people. We have a holistic approach. We have a gut health approach. We have a mindset, mental, emotional, spiritual approach. We have a physical approach, and we have the specifics within that. It's not as simple as just like, oh yeah, work on your mindset and, exercise and breathe and sleep well and eat good. It's like, if it was that easy, we'd be all doing it. Simple doesn't mean it's easy. These simple things that we know are good for us aren't necessarily easy to apply. And in my practice and in my own research and my own experiments and my own experience, is that the people that made progress and that improved and recovered were the people that did the basics right. I'd never met anyone who said to me, it was just this one thing and I magically got better, ever. Never met one person. I've always met every single person I've met who's recovered and improved, always said to me, it was a holistic approach. It was my mindset. It was my sleep. It was my nutrition. It was my restorative movement. It was my rebuilding and regaining my strength and stamina. It was, it was rebuilding and regaining my confidence. It was stepping outside the cage of fear. It was rebuilding my entire life again. So yeah, it's we can go so deep into it. I was on the phone to a lady today who just joined our group mentorship program, and like she's doing really great. Like she's back working and she's doing awesome. But there's also room for improvement. And it's like, well, let's look at where you might be stuck that you might not realize that you're stuck, and let's work on that. And it's fascinating, some of the stuff that can come out. It's cool. Kim asked a question. Hi, are people with CFS in the high risk category as regards to coronavirus? Well, I don't think so in one way, because hopefully in this context right now you're isolated, you're not out in big groups. So that's one good thing at the moment for people who aren't mingling with people a lot. Of course, like if your immune system's compromised, then that's where this video and why I wanted to do this talk is, let's get back to basics. let's get to bed early. Let's, chill out. Let's meditate when we need to. Let's go outside in nature when we can. Let's eat really well. Let's cut down the sugar. Let's just eat simply. Let's switch off. Let's stop searching all the negative stuff and freaking out about things we can't control. And I can't really comment too much on the coronavirus because I know really nothing about it other than, self-isolation is probably the most important thing in terms of stopping the chart in terms of the amount of people that need hospital or medical help. And so by self-isolating, we minimize the spread, which means that, hospitals and medical staff are inundated with people who, who don't really need us need to be helping us right now, if that makes sense. Wow, I've got some good questions here. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit slow, but I'm going to do the best I can to get to everybody. What else have we got? Thanks, Mel. I appreciate that. Vanessa asks, are there specific foods that we should eat to at least avoid some attacks? To avoid attacks. So are there specific foods? Yeah, so with that, I mean, the most important thing is figuring out what works for you. There's no correct diet. I don't really believe in diets. I don't think it's a good thing to follow a diet because you get stuck in a paradigm that you can't change or that you feel that you can't change, which creates stress in itself. Also, stressing about food, over-stressing about food can actually be a bigger problem than the food itself. So what I suggest is having a holistic approach with your nutrition, eating whole foods, and just doing the best you can to eat local and organic when you can, but also just clean, like it doesn't have to be crazy good as long as it's wholesome and filling for you and energy lasting. Usually foods with low GI index, so, not fast releasing carbohydrates, higher proteins, higher fats, can give you longer lasting energy and avoid that kind of drastic boom and bust cycle that you may experience otherwise. Does that make sense? Just hit the like button or comment yes, if that makes sense or if I'm making sense. But basically you want to eat more sustaining food so you can have more sustainable energy levels throughout the day rather than this big high of sugar rush and then kind of crashing down. Same thing with coffee and stimulants too. Not really that ideal. Is this helping, guys? Yep. Cool. Yeah, let me know if this is useful for you guys. We got another question here. Hey, Kristen. Hey, Nathali. Yes, stress is no good. Let that shit go. Mindy says, I've had CFS for almost a decade. There is not a button. I'm stuck at home with kids for the next month. There is no option to shut down. Okay, that's not a question. If you have a specific question around that, let me know. Yep, appreciate that. Simone says, I will watch later. My kids need feeding. 4 years ago, I couldn't even cut my own food up, so I'm happy to hear Mum, I'm hungry. So there you go. That's amazing progress in itself. Mindy, you can email us at info@cfshealth.com. info@cfshealth.com, and we can send you some more information. We can definitely help you there. We got, no worries, Kim. We got Claire from UK. Mindy says, sorry, I appreciate what you're saying. I have 3 autoimmune disorders, was an ambassador for one organization, went to school and became a certified medical assistant. I'm curious about your perspective. What perspective would you like it on? Hey, Becky from UK. So, my suggestion here is like, you might have many, many problems and you might have many things going on, and, that's that. And you can also look for help moving forwards and solutions around that. One of the common things that I see with people is they identify themselves as their illness. I am this. This is who I am. And the problem with that is, yes, it can feel safe to do that, and that becomes your identity, but it also keeps you stuck there. And hey, Amy, and that can be, a hard one to kind of nip in the butt, because if you're constantly focusing on where you're at and what you don't have and what you're currently experiencing, there's no room or space for anything different. Does that make sense, guys? The stuff that we do in our program, this is the work that we do, and that's really phenomenal to watch in a period of time, from someone going from I'm limited, there's not much I can do, my life's basically over, to, oh my God, there's an unlimited amount of potential for me to improve my situation, and here are the tools that I can use in order to help myself move forwards. Now, that doesn't mean pretending that you're okay all the time, falsing it to think that you're better before you're not, thinking yourself positively better. I don't believe in any of that. That's pretend, and that's actually not useful, and it can be harmful. I'm also not for pushing yourself beyond your means. Hopefully you've been following long enough that you know that about my philosophy. It's not about pushing beyond your means. It's about doing what's appropriate with where you're at and building from there. And you know what? Sometimes there might be slumps, and that's okay. Let's help you through that, rather than sabotage yourself in that and beat yourself up around that. Does that make sense, guys? Just comment yes below if this is useful for you, if you're finding it helpful. Wow. Simone just commented in, Kim, this stuff is really helpful. I read Toby's book first 4 years ago, and that was the first step for me to recover 7 years from when it started. I'm doing more than I did before being sick. Wow. How cool is that? Thank you for sharing that. Phenomenal. And I bet you didn't take a magic pill to do that. I bet you did all the hard work and all the necessary work in order for you to be where you're at today, Simone. So I take my hat off for you. Kim says, very sensible advice. Thanks, Kim. God, we've got a lot of Kims here. Wow. I think we've got about 5 Kims on the call, which is cool. Claire says, yes, thank you. Claire Marie says, do vitamins work? And this is an interesting one. So we actually have an amazing doctor in our program now called Dr. Olivia Lessler. And you can find her latest interview on our YouTube channel. If you just type in CFS Health or Toby TV CFS, you'll see the latest videos there. And there was an interview with Dr. Olivia just recently. And she helps our clients with gut health, nutrition, and supplements. Now, you might be stabbing in the dark with this. You might be like trying all these different things. They might not be working for you. Or you might be taking too many supplements and it's too much overwhelm for your body. Your body can't handle it. And so it's important to get some guidance around that specifically for you. So I can't give you that advice. It's not my expertise. But inside our program, we have a once-a-month workshop just purely on that stuff alone. Supplements, gut health, mitochondria, all those things that, for most of us in the general population, we don't really know too much about. So again, can't really answer that for you, but for some people, I know it has been useful, but I also know that I've never met someone who said this supplement cured me. So one of my rules of thumbs are, yes, if you need to and you want to, take supplements. And if it helps you 5 or 10%, then awesome, keep doing it. But stop anything that you're doing that's really not working for you or making you feel worse, because it's just really not that necessary and can be more harmful than helpful. Yeah. So that's our take on that. And like I said before, sometimes we overcomplicate it. Sometimes we actually don't need to do everything. As I spoke to one of our awesome members who just joined this morning, actually from New Zealand, I said to her, I'm like, you don't need to do everything. You're actually doing some of the stuff already, which is great. Like for you, we need to focus on X, Y, Z. I'm not going to obviously, go too deep into that personal coaching, but it's really about identifying where are the spots and the keys lie for us to make progress in. Where are the areas in our lives? We've got Connie commenting in, my pain management doctor told me today that fibromyalgia does not exist. He was adamant about it. That's interesting. Everyone's going to have a different opinion. And just whether it's a doctor or not a doctor, it's an opinion, okay? My perspective on it is fibromyalgia and chronic fatigue syndrome are blanket umbrellas to, hey Beck, hey Petra, are blanket umbrellas to describe a bunch of symptoms that you have been experiencing and have been persisting for a long period of time, with the exclusion of any other illness that is going on right now. And you guys know that. And there's some commonalities or common traits that people experience who have chronic fatigue syndrome and who have fibromyalgia, muscle pain, muscle lethargy, extreme exhaustion. Hey Beck, awesome session last night. One of our members just jumped on. Sophia as well. There's a bunch of symptoms there. Brain fog, concentration issues, gut health, gut irritability, diarrhea, constipation, leg pain, numbness, dizziness, headaches. The list goes on, right? And so the problem is if we keep just identifying with words and symptoms and trying to treat the symptoms and literally just treat the symptoms, it's just a little Band-Aid. And as soon as that Band-Aid gets ripped off, it's the same problem. So I think it is up to the patient's approach to really have a thorough, holistic approach from the ground up that's going to move you in the direction that you want, not just sugarcoat the actual problem. Does that make sense, guys? Just comment below if that's really, really helpful. Please let me know. I appreciate your feedback on this as well. Kim's written in, I have had CFS for 6 years now. 2 years ago, I stopped telling myself, others, I'm sick and poorly. Although I was and struggled, I made sure I focused on the good days, telling myself no matter what, I could get better one day. Changed my focus, internal chatter, what I said to family and friends, and 2 years later, I am 60 to 70% better and am beginning to work part-time and have more energy. I truly believe that changing my thoughts and focus over a period of time did help quite significantly. And Toby, thank you so much for your true positive advice and work, which has also helped me through the years immensely. Thank you for sharing. That's why we have a huge mindset component just in the program. And it runs deeper than that. There's a lot behind our mind and how we use it and what we do. And, the thing is, chronic fatigue syndrome and fibromyalgia are real. They're real, syndromes. And this is to go back to Connie's question, her doctor said, there is no such thing as fibromyalgia. Well, what you're experiencing is real. You're not making it up, right? But here's the thing. It is very physical, but it also affects you mentally and emotionally. And if you're going to tell me that, oh no, it doesn't. It's no, I'm fine. No, bullshit. It's tough. It's really exhausting and really hard. And if we can realize that the body and mind are connected, and that, yes, we need to look after our bodies and do the basics on that. There's the 5 key pillars of health, which is really what is the basis and the initial start of recovery looks like. Acceptance, baseline routine structure, quality sleep, nutrition, restorative movement, rebuilding and reconditioning your body. That's physical. But if you're in your head and you're constantly telling yourself that you're never going to get better, that, you're stuck with this forever, that there's no point of me even trying anything, that mindset is going to leave you with no behaviors or actions to actually do anything useful with the time or energy that you might have here and there to do something useful for yourself that will benefit you in the long term, just like Kim said. And that's evidence right there. So when I tell people, yeah, we have a huge mindset component, it's because when we get in the right mindset and we help people move towards what they want and towards what is appropriate for them, action-wise, behavior-wise, habits-wise, people start to do what is appropriate for them, and they take action. And it's proactive action that creates change over a period of time. You can't tell me that's not true. You have 2 people, right? 2 people going through the same thing, and this might upset a couple of you, but that's not up for me to decide. If you get this will be huge for you. 2 people going through the same thing. This person here says, this sucks. I don't like it. I don't want to be here, but I'm going to accept where I'm at, and I'm going to do what I can to move forwards. And I'm going to take control of what I can take control of to make sure I do what's appropriate for me and move forwards. Person over here says, this is shit. This is unfair. Why me? And then they start to search and find other people who are also struggling, but also just want to complain about their struggles and not actually look for solutions. This person goes down this way. They start to go down the hole of, there's no point getting better. Oh, that person's full of crap, or I can't do this, or I can't do that. This person here starts to look for solutions. They start to go in the upward trajectory. They behave in a different way. They look for different things. They search for different answers. They start to take action. They start to look for proactive solutions that will be useful in their recovery. 2 people, same problem, 2 different outcomes. Not saying that it's easy, not saying that you're making it up, not saying it's all in your head. It's not all in your head. What you're going through is 100% real, but there's a difference. There's a choice here. The choice is, I go victimhood and I go down this path of, nah, fuck it, there's nothing for me in the world that's going to help me. I've tried everything. Yep. I hear that quite a lot. Trust me. And then there's the person who, and it doesn't matter about age, because I've seen people in their 70s recover and improve from chronic fatigue syndrome. Hey, Charlie. Hey, Lizzie. Hey, Emily. Then there's 70-year-old who goes, oh, man, like that person improved, and well, what did that person do? And okay, I'm going to try and implement that in my life. And oh yeah, like I'm not looking for a quick fix, but I'm just going to do what I can to improve. And this person goes on a trajectory that way. 2 people, same problem, 2 different outcomes, right? And in between all of that is a choice to either look for solutions or look for problems. It's a choice. As hard as that may sound, as harsh as that may sound, it's a choice. And when the choice is decided, progress can be made. I'm not saying it's easy. Sometimes it almost looks too simple to be true, but simple doesn't mean it's easy to apply. When you're going through something with like chronic fatigue syndrome or fibromyalgia, it is extremely hard. It's excruciating. The pain on a physical level that you're experiencing is not nice. The symptoms you're experiencing is not nice, and that's a nice way of putting it. You're exhausted, you're tired, you're triggered, you're stressed. Like, to then look for solutions on top of that is bloody hard. So I commend every single one of you who is on the journey to improving themselves, because it isn't an easy ride, right? Becky says on Instagram, Beck's in our program actually. To everyone watching, I am one of the members in the group, and it really is super helpful on how to get me through my CFS and fibro so far. It really is worth it if you want to get to work, if you want to do the work to get better. Yep, you're starting to make that progress now, and Beck's been in our program for not that long. And I get to see those changes in all these different people who work with us. You know, it's for me, that's what excites me these days. Is I love working with people who make the changes, you know, and like, yeah, sometimes it's ugly, sometimes it's shit, sometimes you don't want to be there, sometimes you want to give up. It's okay. As I said at the start of this call, is, you know, the perfect example was last night. One of our members was like, how do I stay motivated when I don't feel motivated? It's like, well, don't feel motivated. Like, give yourself permission to stop trying so damn hard all the time. And I was like, oh, I can breathe now. Does that make sense? I hope this has been helpful. Please share below. Just type in yes if that makes sense. Sorry, I think I went on a bit of a tangent there, but yep, Becky's like, yep. But, you know, Becky, you get it, because you know, you're doing it. You're seeing the progress within yourself. You're seeing the changes within yourself. Your family's starting to see the changes in yourself, which is just, you know, a beautiful sign. It's incredible. It's like one big family. Yeah, and that's the other thing is, like, you guys have got to surround yourself with people who have no judgment around you, who understand you, who get you, but you don't have to explain yourself. Like, and also surround yourself in a really positive, supportive environment. If you're in an environment that people aren't supporting you on your journey, it's best to get out of that environment, because it's not going to help you move forwards. You know, don't follow the people or follow the herd that's actually holding you back. Get out of that and start to surround yourself with something that's better for you. Okay. Taja says, I did the same with Toby's advice. Nowadays I work 5 days a week. I got my life back. Thank you so much, Toby from Finland. Oh, Taja, how are you? Taja did our program a few years ago. Oh, that's cool. With a little trophy son. See, there's just some amazing stories out there that aren't told. Taja, can you send me an email at info@cfshealth.com? Let me know kind of how you're going. I'd love to hear from you personally. Tell me everything you've been up to. Petra, glad this is helping. Kim, all good. I appreciate that. That's all good. You know, timing's everything. Sometimes it's about nothing ventured, nothing gained, and sometimes we just need to kind of, you know, go on our path, and, you know, when the student's ready, the teacher will appear. Yes, Claire makes a great point. Just gonna say this, because I feel like everyone's gonna get this. Claire says, I struggle bad with fibromyalgia, CFS, gut problems, anxiety, depression. I hate it when people do not believe you when you feel like you have to prove yourself, and it's tiring. I have to stop doing it now. If they do not believe me, it's their problem. Yeah, that's a heavy one. And I feel like there's a bit of, there's a bit of letting go there for you, which is cool. Two things again, and this is the same thing with the choice. It's like I have two options. I can continue to try and prove to people that I'm not well and that I'm, you know, sick. And like, I think with people close to you, it's important to express how you really feel, truly, and be true to that. But there comes a point where enough's enough, and then it's that responsibility for yourself to not spend all this time constantly talking about where you're at and how bad you are, but just rather than wasting that energy on people who aren't listening and caring about you, to put that inward and go, well, how can I take responsibility and show up for myself within myself? Emily says, this is why I stopped attending CFS support groups. It was too negative. Yep. There can be a lot of nasty ones out there. I know there's a few support groups who aren't a fan of me, and I've got evidence to support that, sadly. But again, I'm not here to convince people. It's everyone's got a choice. It's you either want to be proactive and be useful and find ways that are going to be helpful for you, or not. And apparently my advice is very harmful to people with CFS. That's some people take my words and twist them. I've never said push yourself. I've never said that chronic fatigue syndrome is in your mind. I've never said you've got to just think positively and everything will be happy days and roses. Just doesn't work like that, the stuff that I teach is appropriate. And it works. Like, look at all the stories. Like, go on YouTube and go on, read the comments that are popping up right here. Here is the evidence. Like, you can't get any clearer. Taja says positive choices are the best. You do it for yourself. It's not easy, but it really does help. Take your time to help yourself. I didn't find the doctor to help me, but I found Toby and then did it by myself. And this is a good point. I didn't find the doctor to help me. And this is something that I spoke with Dr. Lesler, who's in our program. She's our resident, medical advisor, and she helps guide our members around anything that they're coming up against. And, one of the things I mentioned to her too is like, do you find this heavy reliance on clients expecting you to get them better? And she was like, well, no, I don't seem to attract people like that. But this is the problem. It's no one's job to fix someone else in terms of chronic suffering and recovering from chronic fatigue syndrome or fibromyalgia. It just doesn't work like that. It's not like a cold or a flu or an infection where you can get some antibiotics and take it and then you're better. It doesn't work like that. And so it's really important to make sure that you realize that. And yes, seek help from your doctor. Hopefully you can find one that's brilliant and cares about you and understands you and can support you as much as they can. But don't expect them to do anything for you. As I say in my program, when people join, we have a brilliant program that's helped thousands of people. Taja, who's just jumped on tonight, has just shared, she's working 5 days a week now. She's done the work herself. One of the things that I say to people when they join our program nowadays is, hey, you're in the rowboat and I'm going to be on the side of the river and you've got your oars and you're gonna get in that boat and start paddling, and I'm going to help you paddle gently down the stream. But I can't jump in the boat and row those oars for you. And that's a choice. Like, I can't do that. And no one can. And right now, picking up the oars and rowing might look like doing nothing. It might be slowing down. It might be calming and chilling. It might be adding in some restorative stuff. It might be building up your strength and stamina. It might be working on your mindset. It might be looking at those areas where, you're coming up against yourself and you're feeling stuck. Like, it's all a process and it's a journey, as Taja said. It's a journey. And I think one of the parts of this is being kind to yourself and just allowing yourself to be what is right now. And I'm going to leave you with this. I'm going to wrap this up. But just let me know in the comments if this has been helpful for you. I've gone a little bit longer than I expected, but I really love seeing people that I haven't seen for a while jump on and kind of let me know their updates and where they're at. We've had some really cool people share their inspiration tonight, and I think for anyone who's struggling, they're the kind of comments you want to cling on to and ask more about. They're the kind of cool comments you want to ask about and go, oh wow, this is so cool. I want to leave you with this, and this is something that I shared with some of my members the other week in our group call, is, peace and, and health is the absence, the absence of suffering is the absence of resisting what currently is. So health and peace is the absence of resisting what currently is. Now, I probably didn't word it correctly, but a guy called Peter Crone shared that. And it was basically health and well-being, or well-being is the absence of resisting what currently is. How often do we come up against ourselves and we start to judge ourselves on top of judging ourselves in terms of what we're currently experiencing and going through? Oh, I'm angry. I don't want to be angry. I'm frustrated. I'm pissed off. I don't want to be frustrated and pissed off. Or I'm sick and I don't want to be sick. And it just creates this suffering on top of suffering. And so well-being is the absence of resisting what currently is a really nice place to start from and move forwards with. So just feel into that for a moment and just what would my life look like right now if I just let go and stopped resisting what everything was at the moment? What would that be like for me? Just want you to sit with that for a moment. Just type in what you felt. How would you feel if you just weren't resisting what currently was in whatever situation or circumstance you're in currently right now? I'd love to share that. Emily Woodford, a breath of fresh air. To hear your approach, I look forward to our conversation and the start of a new mindset for me. Yes, I'm excited for you to start the program. Looking forward to having our chat and making sure that everything's right. And we can get you in the onboarding period and get you inside this amazing group mentorship. But yeah, comment in just what that would feel like for you. Pam says, so true, Toby. Acceptance for me is the key. Yep. I know I had a client experience this the other day. It was just I'm stressing over all this shit that I can't control. And just by that statement alone helped her kind of just get to the facts and just do what was appropriate and had to be done versus, trying to do everything. Kim writes, letting go, release. Yep. Some big shifts. So I hope you found that helpful. Thank you, Taja. Taja, please send me an email, info@cfshealth.com. I want to hear from you. I want to hear an update of where you're at, what you're doing with your work, and everything in between. I get a lot out of that. Can't wait to hear from you. Connie says, total relief. Stop fighting to make people understand. Expect too much from me. Yes. Woohoo. Good. Awesome insights, guys. Really appreciate that. Now I've got to wind this up right now. So I hope this free question and answer helped you just ease the suffering a little bit, or even helped you make some changes or some ideas on how you could change. I really do hope this was beneficial at the least of it. If you want more help and you kind of like the sound of what I do and what we can help you with, not just me, but our resident mindset coach Gemma Hanley, Dr. Olivia Lessler. We have an amazing mentorship program for anyone who's looking and seeking for more help, but self-responsible help in every area and level of recovery. Doesn't matter where you're at. And so if you need more help, what you can do is send an email to info@cfshealth.com. And I'll type a link in here, which you'll be able to kind of check out a free 15-minute video, which will kind of give you a snapshot of the program. And if you like the sound of it, you can apply for an initial screening call to see if it's a good fit for you. But thanks again for joining. I hope it really helped you. And if you can, comment below the biggest takeaway and insight from today's session for you. Peace, guys. Speak to you soon.